Thank you, Abhijit, again for coming here.
It's always a pleasure, bro. जब तेरे को गाली पड़ती है ना मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगता है. You want sci-fi, you want romance, you want comedy, you want horror. America exports everything. ये सरोद बजाना अमजद अली खान का, परवीना सुल्तान का राग, ये सब दादाजी नानाजी का एक गाना है. मैं ये नहीं सुनूंगा. ये अमेरिका में ये सबसे cool है. It's because there's this whole aura of America around it. Personal freedom. Oh man, I can be 16, I can move out of my house and have sex. You would have been like that.
Yeah.
और क्या शक्ल से तो लगता ही है वैसे.
And like you have like a 0.75% kind of acceptance rate at an IIT. You're literally working throughout your school life, then in college life also. उसके बाद भी living this.
IIT is not doing. In fact, IIT, you basically got somebody with 200 plus IQ joining. 200 plus IQ को तुमने 210 plus IQ बना दिया. तुम्हारी कोई शान ज्यादा बड़ा नहीं है.
For all the superhero movies, Marvel, DC, The Boys, every kind of thing that has been built. It's always about saving America.
Aliens only land in America.
Yeah.
Aham Brahmasmi, not in this country, bro. That's in that country there.
America is what?
More Upanishadik. Because you don't worship the human being, no? Human beings are shit.
Are treated as shits, basically. Thank you, Abhijit, again for coming here. It's a pleasure having you.
It's always a pleasure, bro. जब तेरे को गाली पड़ती है ना मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
इस बार आप लास्ट पॉडकास्ट में आपको भी पड़ी है इस बार,
है ना? हाँ. Excellent. Let me say this again. Rang De Basanti is the crappiest movie around. That retard acting that what Three Idiots में जो इसने किया था, it is like honestly my sphincter moving has a greater emotional expressivity than Aamir Khan's face. You know what the sphincter is?
No.
It's your rectum. It's the muscle, rectum muscle.
Fuckers. Yeah. So Aamir Khan, according to you, is a good actor or a bad actor?
He's a terrible actor.
Terrible actor. Wow.
Shocking. You know that Tare Zameen Pe, which was a movie I liked?
Yeah.
It was such an amazing movie till the second half when he makes his appearance. And then it just goes down. I don't listen. None of the commercially successful actors are good actors. India does not like good acting. India likes
expressions.
Masala.
Masala, yeah.
Okay. Acting is like a pasta. It requires a very delicate sauce. Everybody here wants butter chicken.
Or pizza combining with butter chicken.
Or
that kind of shit.
So, here it has to be ये ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. वो महाभारत में और उसमें वो रामायण में वो रावण करता था ना ओरिजिनल रामायण में. It's be like you have to, it has to be like kabuki. Everything has to be overexpressed. ठीक है. So India's like that. We don't do subtlety. Everything has to be
Ekta Kapoor.
Yeah, essentially. So, you know, it is what it is. जैसे audience वैसे film. But the really good actors are people like Om Puri, Nasruddin Shah. I mean, leave aside his politics and everything.
Shah? As a politics aside.
You know, my favorite movie is Trikal. Have you seen Trikal? Trikal. It had Leela Naidu, who was once considered the most beautiful. You know, she's the only Indian who Pablo Picasso painted. Now, Pablo Picasso doesn't paint faces very well. That's a different matter. But Trikal is set in the last days of the Portuguese occupation of Goa. It's probably one of the most stunning films made in India. There was this one, क्या कहते हैं, जाने भी दो यारों, which was an excellent movie. Unusually, it was also a commercial success. You know, there's this other movie which was fun, Bheja Fry. It was fun.
Do you like Delhi Belly?
No.
Or DFD or Khosla Ka Ghosla?
नहीं.
Why?
Delhi Belly was all about it was the first time Bhosadi ke was said repeatedly over and over again.
Yeah.
And I was just waiting for the story to begin, and it never began. It was carried on its USP was first movie to say Bhosadi repeat, first movie to say Bhosadi on screen, and first movie to say it repeatedly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But don't you think it pictured Delhi really well? The Delhi Valley whole scene, the way, you know, the three people involved there, young lads get involved unfortunately in some kind of drug kind of thing, and then eventually the story revolves.
Not really.
You see small characters.
Because if you actually study the way the drug trade works, that's exactly how it does not work. Okay. The problem is, you know, when you deal with things like security, you begin to see all the minutiae and things like that. It did nothing for me. On the other hand, Gangs of Wasipur dekha hai?
Yeah, why not?
Gangs of Wasipur is a fantastic movie, which I think it is fantastic. Why? Because I don't know the underbelly of Wasipur and things like that. So I feel it's realistic. If I go study crime out there, maybe I may not think it's realistic.
So for you, if I'm able to understand, the movie really needs to be very close to the reality. If it's purely fiction, that would suffice.
See, it can't be so far from reality that, you know, it completely destroys the movie for you. Then classify it as a, you know, as a fantasy. Like Superman, I don't assume people can't fly.
Yeah.
Okay. Batman, I don't assume that
billion
on
people do
armor
that.
can be defeated.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's different. But then classify it as a fantasy, na? I mean, don't make this thing कि हमारा acting यार come along. Batman में कभी भी acting अच्छा हुआ है नहीं. Superman
Why?
में कभी
Ben Affleck, all these great
Listen,
actors,
just
Christian Bale,
Ben Affleck is a good actor.
what he didn't.
I think the role of Batman requires all these superhero roles require a certain exaggeration. I think my favorite from that universe was this thing about this. I forget the name now. This black lady superhero.
Black Lady,
Black
Catwoman,
Nay,
Marvel or DC?
one of those. Yeah,
Black
keep
Widow.
confusing. I forget now. Anyway, it was very good.
Actually, we have to get into this later on.
We do.
हमको थोड़ा सा US से शुरू करना था. हम थोड़ा सा हुक के चक्कर में चले गए, movies and all. So actually, I wanted to talk to you about you know, why broadly US matters, right? So you have already spoken about the geopolitics, the soft power, the way the diplomacy happens there. So my understanding here is to understand how things happen on a scale of popular culture, basically. There, either it is through your institution, educational institutions, or it is through your movies or media. So starting on that thing, I want to begin this with very initial thought, that is about tech revolutions, right? So everything you see, Microsoft, Amazon, Apple, eventually was invented in US. It was there, right? There are other major countries also. China is also there. India, I'm not comparing because, again, not a good competitor there. But again, US is always there whenever it comes to all kinds of tech revolution, which at the end are happening. Even today, even if you take AI also. So it is US which has already given the path, और फिर सब उसको लेके एक ट्रैक ले लेते हैं. सबको एक स्क्रिप्ट मिल चुका है, अब हर कोई इसमें अपना ऐड ऑन करता जा रहा है. E-commerce, Amazon gave, Zomato, Blinkit, Swiggy, all these people just, you know, found a way to leverage it in their own ways, right? So why you feel US has this, first, the tech dominance that still exists and no one has been able to?
So, you know, technology grows geometrically, which is to say 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, 8 becomes 16, 16 becomes 32. Normal growth is arithmetic. 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 6, 6 becomes 8, 8 becomes 10, 10 becomes 12, 12 say 14, 14 say things like that. What you've seen so far till the mid 1800s was almost no growth. Mid 1800s, say some countries grew geometrically. America is one of those countries that has become the world's first hyperpower. We've never had a power like America. So, if you compare it to, say, the Mongol Empire or the Roman Empire or even the British Empire, these were classical superpowers. They were not hyperpowers. America has become a hyperpower in every sense of the word. Why? Because its domination of money markets, its domination of the cultural scene, its domination of course, militarily. But see, military is a symptom of all the other kinds of domination. And it's come about because they celebrate individual freedom. Except for the last 10, 12 years when this whole woke disease.
And plus they have the IMF, World Bank, all these kinds of things under their belt.
And they created it. So, America is different because, all the classical colonial powers, they were mercantile, which is we want a colony because we will extract resources from you. And we want a captive market. So France won't be able to sell in our colonies, but we will manufacture and you will exclusively import from us, and you will not industrialize. The problem then is, if you're maintaining an agricultural economy, then you have no growth to arithmetic growth maximum, which happens in the pre-industrial era. So the economy really didn't grow for 2,000-3,000 years in between, technically, if you look at it. Because the only way it would grow was doing war and plundering other people's resources and bringing it in and so on and so forth. And agricultural surplus, which was a boom and bust. If you had good rains and everything, you would have a boom. If you had bad rains, you would go bust. And probably have famine as well and die. That changed completely with the Industrial Revolution. So you maintained feudal agricultural, which could never absorb the amount of industry you were producing. So Britain industrialized, and then it ossified, which is now Britain has almost completely deindustrialized in that sense. Okay, America did something very, very, very smart. They decided that all their junior states, first of all, they didn't have colonies. I mean, 1-2 colonies they like Philippines and whatever.
Actually,
it isn't worth our money to go civilize a colony and things like that. We'll just believe in open markets where we'll buy things. So the whole cost of colonialism was avoided. They got all the goods that they required without the colonialism. They do government change, regime change and things like that out here, which was much lower cost than actual occupation. And they found out the cost of occupation again when they forgot, like with Afghanistan and Iraq and things like that. The second thing that they did was they insisted that all the markets they sell to become richer and richer and richer and richer. You also industrialize. All our low-level industry we'll send to you. We will go higher and higher up the value chain to the point what America makes is absolutely indispensable. And the richer you get, the more your market expands, the more American you can buy. Right? It's a genius idea. So America was the first global power that was a true capitalist state. The countries before it were mercantilist states, they were not capitalist states. Because a capitalist believes in the flow of capital. They believe in, free markets, free flow of goods and things like that. The free flow of labor is restricted because of, national boundaries in the Westphalian system. But other than that, they believe in that.
Is the American dream the part of it here? That they always from the beginning inculcated this in themselves and their people?
Very much so. And so, you have things. You look at America's greatest cultural exports. They were all borrowed from other countries. The pizza wasn't made famous by Italy. The pizza was made famous by America and Archie and Jughead.
Metropolitan.
Right. It was Archie and Jughead that made pizza famous. America took Italian immigrant food, made it famous. And now, of course, the Italians are trying to reclaim it and say, oh no, you must only try the authentic Neapolitan pizza. All other pizza is shit. Bullshit. They've done very good marketing to convince you that they
are the founders of this.
They may have, in some form, they invented it, but it was America that actually made it global. Okay. The hamburger, German invention from Hamburg. It's not that it is a burger with ham in it. It's from Hamburg. It's a sandwich from Hamburg which became famous in America. Okay. And they then re-exported it to the world. And very frequently, see, they export so much in terms of culture. It's a technicolor dream that is sold abroad, where anybody can pick and choose from. You like something really crude like female mud wrestling? America is the biggest exporter. You like junk food, hamburger, pizza? America is the biggest. It's not an Italian chain that dominates the world. It's Domino's, Pizza Hut, all of these people, right? You want something extremely cultivated and classy, right? You want sci-fi, you want romance, you want comedy, you want horror. America exports everything. There's something for everyone in America.
Yeah, and plus
as opposed to say the USSR, which was the big peer competitor to America then.
Or China also.
Or China now. So USSR would only export ballet. If you didn't like ballet, there was nothing for the USSR from the USSR for you. The USSR had no food exports. What Russian food have you had?
Not, I can recall.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing, right? It's not Russian food is bad. Russian food is actually very good. It's one of the most sophisticated cuisines.
Give me an example of like proper Russian authentic cuisine that you may even find in India.
You won't find it in India. You won't find it in India. It's a Siberian fish called muksun that's eaten frozen. And it's more sophisticated than a Japanese sushi because Japanese sushi is served at room temperature. This is served cold, thinly sliced. So when you put the frozen thing on your tongue, your tongue's heat warms it up. It is a whole sensation of flavor going on in your mouth. But you need to know where to eat in Moscow. Okay, because the communists destroyed Russian food.
And how they did that?
Collectivization. You couldn't run your own restaurant, no creativity, no preservation of old exquisite recipes. It was all catered to the lowest common denominator, canteen style, ghatiya sa hot dog with ketchup. They didn't even have that. They would have like saste type ke momos and crap like that. So, it was very different. This was the USSR. The China does something very similar. Are you going to get politically revolutionary movies coming out of China? Never. Don't even talk about revolution to the Chinese. The only revolution they want you to know about is their 1949 communist revolution. Okay. Or tell me one Chinese romantic movie. Everything is about their history. The Battle of the Red Cliffs. Or it's all, we are, kung fu, chu.
But don't you think they somehow influence Hollywood also? Like, as in, because
it's niche influence of
Kung Fu Panda movie, for example.
Niche influence.
So, like, they're
Mulan and Kung Fu Panda they're very specific, minuscule genres. India's also had that. This what was it? Bollywood. Ye kya tha? Slumdog Millionaire.
That is at a very small scale. Like I'm talking about even Masi.
Tell me, Chinese Kung Fu Panda and Mulan. They're also very limited.
But Hollywood is a bit biased towards China, or they intentionally tried.
No, that's because there's a lot of Chinese money coming in there.
Exactly.
India has no money to put into Hollywood. But in spite of the money, the actual cultural impact of China on Hollywood is nothing. I would say Hollywood's impact on China is 50,000 times greater than China's impact on Hollywood. Okay. That is a hyperpower. China is a classical superpower. You do the maths itself precisely because of the alliance system America has. The USSR had 1/3 of America's population. It had half the per capita income, or even less. How did you think it was ever going to catch up with America, realistically? It doesn't. So the thing is, with China has what, 1.4, 1.3,
1.4 billion.
something like that. America plus the Westosphere, which is America plus Europe plus Australia, New Zealand, Israel, Japan, the Western Alliance system, if you want to call it that, has something like 1 billion people. less than China, but at an average income of about $45,000. China, 1.4 billion at $10,000. Well, here it's around 11, 12 now. Okay. Who do you think is going to win? It's like a 3:1 difference. Now, what happens with the Westosphere is it becomes aspirational. You use culture. First, you absorb the culture because you see this great power. Like, I detest rock music. It's horrible. All they do is come and say, dang, 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 dang. Kaan sakta hai usse. Dang, 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 dang. And it's all fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Okay, and what ends up happening is you think this is fantastic. ये सरोद बजाना अमजद अली खान का, ये परवीना सुल्तान का राग, ये सब दादाजी नानाजी का गाना है, मैं ये नहीं सुनूंगा. ये अमेरिका में fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, ये सबसे cool है. You think this is music.
Yeah.
Why? It's not because you actually like it. It's because there's this whole aura of America around it. Personal freedom. Oh man, I can be 16. I can move out of my house and have sex. You would have been like that.
Yeah.
और क्या? शक्ल से तो लगता ही है वैसे. And
also one thing I wanted to add before we.
अब शर्मा क्यों है? Why are you blushing?
नहीं, I'm not blushing.
It's true. It's 100% true. इसके देख, इसके गोरे गोरे cheeks में लाल लाल हो रहा है.
So I was.
See. So
I was saying that apart from this, I want to actually get into pop culture aram se, because I have some things there.
But because of this,
Yeah.
you then look up to America. Then you want to start migrating there. You realize that the only way you can migrate there is अब तो illegally भी कर सकते हो, but पहले नहीं हो सकता था. You have to be very good at something. So all the best talent in every country, because of market inefficiencies, feel it hasn't reached its maximum potential. That is the American dream. The American identity is what? That everybody gets several chances and absolute personal freedom. You can express yourself maximum. You can start up a business. That is not the French dream. That is not the British dream. That is not the Italian or the German dream. That is not the Indian dream. The Indian notion of India is a ethnic notion.
Yeah.
The Chinese notion of China is an ethnic notion. The British, French, Italian and German notions, all European states, are linguistic notions. America is the one that is based on an economic notion, which is the American dream.
Yeah, and I think they celebrate failures also. Like, in US you will find people, for example, Trump only.
Yeah.
Like, his whole story is about this, that one, then lost.
But
then
remember,
again,
failure, nothing succeeds like failure.
Yeah.
You know why Germany, when I was growing up, German technology used to be the finest. It's not anymore. Like, it's all becoming shit right now. Because you look at the failure. Un dinon mein, I've told you this before, remember? The surest test of reliability is if a terrorist is using your product. Today, they will only use Toyota Land Cruisers.
Land Cruisers. Yeah.
In those days, they used to use Mercedes trucks. Today, एक बूंद पानी गिरता है, Mercedes will stop.
वन न जाएगी.
Mercedes under anywhere where there is flooding. The maximum number of cars stuck there, you will never see a Hyundai or a Japanese car stuck.
Yeah.
The only ones you will see stuck are Mercedes, Audi, BMW. Especially BMW. Okay, then followed by Audi, followed by Mercedes.
Basically, all German cars.
All German cars. They are so over-engineered, they stuck there. Now, Germany had the lowest rate of social mobility. It is still the lowest rate of social mobility in Europe. If you are born the son of a butcher, most likely you will remain a butcher. Or you'll remain in the income category of a butcher. Also, Germany has the highest rate of loan application rejections. If you have failed once in Germany, chances of getting a new loan are next to zero. In California, you may have failed 100 times, but based on the strength of your new business idea, as long as you've not done any gotala, if it was legitimate failure and things like that, you will get a loan again. That is why California is where Silicon Valley is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It isn't because of the silicon in the ground. People like to think it's because of the silicon in the ground, and because of that stupid James Bond movie. What was it? A View to a Kill.
Yeah.
Where that Zorin Industries wanted to flood Silicon Valley and all. Silicon is widely available. It's just sand. You can get it anywhere.
Yeah.
So,
And they believe in failing fast also.
They believe in failing
all the
fast.
startup founders there.
Because they believe it is survival of the fittest. It is literally survival of the fittest. In the wild, it is the old and infirm that get killed the most. It is only the fit, like deers. It is baby deers who will get killed by leopards or tigers the quickest, or it is the old deer that can no longer run that gets killed. You realize to survive, you have to be the fastest deer with the best thinking. And that is how human evolution goes. Right? We have all found ways of insulating ourselves from failure. America is the only one that celebrates failure. So it has ideologically been very different from every country that has come before it, be it in terms of its views of failure and finance, be it in terms of an ideology based on economy and not based on, identity, ethnicity, linguistics, or whatever.
Yeah.
Be it in terms of how it deals with its relationships with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
It's a very, very different country. So America became a hyperpower, and then all the intelligence from all over the world accumulates in America. पैसा सब Indian taxpayer देता है, but every intelligent IIT guy ends up in America, no?
Yeah.
Every smart bits pilani guy ends up in America.
But there is one stats regarding this. If you see top 10 university globally who have produced the maximum number of billionaires, Harvard, Stanford, Columbia, and the remaining 5-6 more are all Americans.
They are all American.
In IIT-IIMs, you will find plenty, like 10-11 million.
IIT-IIM will come in the 150, 160 category.
वो भी ज़्यादा बोल.
They're probably not in the top 100 also. The last I checked. I haven't checked those. I don't believe in those rankings.
So why you put you have a 0.75% kind of acceptance rate at an IIT? You're literally working throughout your school life, then in college life also. उसके बाद भी you are living this.
IIT is not doing. In fact, IIT, IIMs, they're not very good. They run on the fact that they've got the cream of the cream joining them. You've basically got somebody with 200 plus IQ joining. 200 plus IQ को तुमने 210 plus IQ बना दिया. तुम्हारी कोई शान ज़्यादा बड़ा नहीं है. America is some place where a lot of people will come from the secondary colleges, University of Albuquerque, University of North Dakota, and things like that. They will join. Of course, IQ is a very bad measure. These standardized tests are a bit weird. They will get somebody with 120 and turn it into 180. The value addition there is much greater.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Curiously enough, American social mobility has gone down since Ronald Reagan ended the whole system of funding universities. It started up again, but it went down. Why they stopped funding universities? Because of all the Vietnam protests that happened under Nixon. Universities were the core of the protests against the Vietnam War, and so they decided, you know what? We're giving you too much money. You're not studying. You're coming to protest.
Yeah.
Those Vietnam War protests actually destroyed social mobility in America for about 25-30 years. They started up again, but it all went to crap like gender studies and woke shit, which was now destroyed. And now, Trump has defunded universities. So what Reagan did as a result of Nixon,
Trump is doing the same.
Trump is doing as a result of Obama.
Because he wants the people who are there to stay there, kind of.
And he wants them to do university studies. He doesn't want them being politically active, which is a very good thing. Because the government is funding certain things.
But isn't it bad?
No, it isn't. If it's, देखो, अगर तुम्हारा बाप का पैसा तुमने उसमें लगाया है, you can self-immolate, I don't care. मरो, you are upset, कूदो 12वीं फ्लोर से, I don't give a damn. टैक्स पेयर पे पैसा पे, मेरे पैसा पे हरामजादे, तू ये कुछ नहीं करेगा. तू बैठ के स्टेम में, नॉट ब्लडी आर्ट, स्टेम पे बैठ के तू ये करेगा. आर्ट्स में करना है तो सीरियस आर्ट्स करो, या तो सोशियोलॉजी करो, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी, डू सम सीरियस आर्ट्स लाइक दैट, नॉट जेंडर स्टडीज. द इम्पैक्ट ऑफ फार्मर्स मार्केट्स ऑन cultural aesthetics of the Haryana plains.
How does that make sense?
They do that.
But how?
I am not funding you this, boss. अगर ऐसी डिग्री करो तो कौन दो उधर से.
And these are these top colleges only where there are these kinds of degrees.
Have you seen the kind of shit that comes out of these colleges? Have you read Kanhaiya Kumar's PhD thesis? I summed it up in 2 tweets.
And what for those 2 tweets?
He had never even been to Africa. Do you know that he wrote a PhD thesis on Africa without going to Africa? I want to know who his PhD supervisor was, because this is the kind of trash that passes as a PhD. It was something on African colonialism. Africa was colonized, then it got decolonized, and now they're very happy. That was the sum total of his PhD.
It's a and then
Such way.
well, that's the
But then, yeah, we were speaking about the dominance of all these education institutes, right? So you do have European institutes also.
Now,
but
understand-
then obviously,
Now
this is
understand
always
what is
placed at
happening
the
with
first.
American institutes also. There's a stratification happening. The social mobility is actually happening in the second tier institutes that don't make the top. The top is selecting from across the world. So if India has a pool of 1.45 billion poorly trained people, where it is just skimming off the top, America has access to the full 6 billion of Earth's population, who are also very, very smart genuinely, to get in there and have the social capital to get in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why the number of applicants is also very less. There will be a 10 to 20,000 kind of applicants that are there, and like I think 10 lakh plus in your JD.
I don't know what the statistics are.
Yeah.
But understand, America is accessing a global pool.
Yeah.
A global pool of highly trained people.
Yeah.
India is accessing a domestic pool of extremely poorly trained people, because in India we don't invest in human beings. We invest in cars, in buildings,
Wow.
and stuff like that.
That's why you think that
I've been to the
UPSC
poshest houses with central air conditioning
in Delhi.
in Delhi, in Bombay, everywhere. The servants' quarter will be small, dingy Indian toilet, no cleaning. Forget air conditioning. They'll only give a pedestal fan and things like that. Cooler bhi nahi lagayenge Delhi mein. This is some person who's cooking for you, keeping your house clean. The happier they are, the happier you will be, the more they look after the house, no? But understand, it's there across the board. IAS officers are exactly like that, by the way. They're like the servants in the servants' quarter. They will supervise things for thousands of crores.
Superior
Contracts for-
servants.
Let's not put, a lot of them are exactly like the servants, even in terms of brain power. But they are 2 lakh mein, they are 2 lakhs per month. What a cabinet secretary gets, 2.5 lakhs a month, is what I was making 10 years ago being a virtual office chaprasi. For, well, research assistant, no? So effectively you're doing research for somebody else.
Yeah, but he has the kind of power that you might not be having, right? The kind of things he could
That is
influence.
the problem. तुमने चपरासी को इतना power दे दिया है. On the other hand, if you'd invested in him, now see, you can't invest without accountability. The more I pay and look after my servants, the more I expect from them. I expect the food to be better made, tastier, exactly the way I want it. I expect the driving to be good. I expect the house to be spick and span. Okay, to an extent that I would not expect from somebody that I'm just paying 5,000 rupees a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
So what you need to do is you need to tell bureaucrats, I'm not going to pay you 2.5 lakhs per month. I'm going to pay you 25 lakhs a month.
So you are saying that
I pay you 25 lakhs a month, but I'm going to criminalize errors.
any kind of errors.
If it is an error of omission, you should have seen it coming. I am not going to promote you basis seniority. I'm going to promote you basis work product. This is what Singapore did. Look where Singapore is, look where India is today.
But these are two very different countries, right?
That doesn't matter. The principle is the same. The principle of accountability doesn't change no matter where the geography is.
But there, you're literally dealing with a city kind of country, which is.
I'm not talking about the
Here
scale.
you literally have like a.
No. Scale is a different issue. See, a fellow who understands accountability here will understand accountability there. Accountability is what? You have to give a work product. A good manager understands this is a small scale or micro industry. There is only so much we can do. Let me make it profitable within the micro sector. But the outcome is the same. If he does not produce, he gets sacked. In a mega size multinational corporation, the principle remains the same. He will understand here that this is a mega thing. There are things I can do here that I could not do there. There are things I could do there which I cannot do here. But that is a function of accountability.
But then their job is defined. For example, for an IS, a job is actually never defined. IPS and IFS.
So who's stopping you from defining it?
They don't even want to get it defined. I have asked to IS officers on the same podcast. No, we don't want to define management.
उनके साथ economics तुमने बोला है?
Economics for?
Economics for anything. My dog knows more economics than most IAS officers, boss. My dad was IAS, no? I can tell you my dog knew more economics than he did. He was a blazing Marxist.
But IS put themselves as someone who manages people. They are for people management.
वो चूतिए हैं, इसीलिए बोलते हैं कि हम मैनेजर हैं. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Do you understand? They are hiding their own inadequacy. If you are a manager, then everything under you should be yielding profit.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is yielding profit?
No. For IS, if they are getting profits.
So if they're managers, they should be yielding results.
Yeah.
So fine, आप manager हो, you don't have to specialize. I'll tell you what. For every project you've proposed or managed, we'll set a failure standard. If you define what the parameters are. If 60% of that parameter isn't met, you are failed and you will be evicted from the service. Is that fair as a manager?
Yeah, that's fair.
You put this to them the next time you interview them.
Sure.
You see how quickly they'll reject it. They don't want any form of performance metrics. They do not want to be measured on anything. They don't want to have any deliverables.
Then they lead to politicians that, we were planning to do it, but file kabhi pass nahi hui.
No. This is bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. Politicians are more than happy to do certain things.
Then why the bureaucracy is not bringing it up?
You have to ask their औकात देखिए आजकल bureaucracy की.
You're talking about the Delhi people?
As everyone. As Lee Kuan Yew used to say, if you give peanuts, you will get monkeys.
That's
2.5 lakhs per month. If that is your highest pay structure, and the allure is sitting in an office with power where Mukesh Bhai and Gautam Bhai have to come and say yes sir to you or matha tekna padta hai, then you fundamentally have a very small penis and a very small brain, and you're just there for some superficial kicks. In most cases, they're there because their value goes up in the dowry market. Bihari paper देखा है कभी? IAS officer 5 crore.
Yes, why not?
That is the main thing. I'm not saying there are some fabulous IAS officers, IFS officers, IRS officers and things like that.
Do you think IAS is more...
They are the exception who prove the rule.
Which is the bad service here? See, IPS and IFS other services are defined.
Listen, you can't go by bad service here. There is no such thing as a bad service. The IAS, the army, the judiciary, the IFS, all the government services, they are a microcosm of things that have gone wrong in the country. Nothing is an island. Pathologies that affect one silo will affect all the silos, because who are you drawing from? You're not drawing from outer space. Na? You're not recruiting. क्या IRS का recruitment क्या Germany से होता है?
एक एग्जाम से होता है यूपी.
Why?
That is also a problem, right?
It is all, and see, even the army or judicial exams, they all happen from a common core of people coming out of the same kind of universities, the same kind of pedagogy, the same kind of pedagogy money teaching systems and things like that, which is सोचो मत, मैंने जो तुमको बोला था ना वही लिखो. तुम क्या अपने आप को बहुत होशियार समझते हो? मेरे से भी होशियार समझते हो? ये क्या बकवास लिखने को बोला तुमको एग्जाम पेपर में? So get over this. All the problems with the IAS are there with every single arm of the government, irrespective. Because you don't have accountability, you're drawing from the same pedagogic pool,
Yeah.
and you invest more in buildings than you do in individuals. You take the same cabinet secretary, you tell him, I'm going to pay you 1.2 crores per year,
Down.
but I demand certain deliverables.
Yes.
And what will this change?
It'll change everything.
Corruption.
The
will stop.
caliber of people,
Corruption or all these kinds of things that happen.
for most part, see, there are two aspects to corruption. One is the incentivization not to be corrupt. The second is the disincentivization not to be corrupt.
Yes.
The incentivization comes through insane amounts of money with accountability. What if you fail? You can make new mistakes, but you can't make the same mistake over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay. The second is the disincentive, where our police systems will be so good, they will be able to detect you and send you to jail. And you will go to jail. The absolute certainty of a crime being punished. That is how things run in Singapore, no?
Yeah.
One of the OECD things is OECD is very strict about corruption. People don't realize this. Boeing, there was this lady called Darlene Durion, who was the head of procurement in the Pentagon. She gave Boeing the first air-to-air refueling tanker contract for 100-odd aircraft.
Yes.
They found out about it. They detected it. And you know what kind of corruption it was? It was that I will retire, and a year after that, you will provide me a board position and a job at Boeing. They managed to dig deep, find everything. It was nothing was written or said. It was all circumstantial evidence. They found it. They convicted her, sentenced her to jail, cancelled Boeing's multi-billion-dollar contract, imposed heavy fines on them. So understand, your police भाई वो कुछ भी तो डिटेक्ट नहीं कर सकता है.
रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस आपको लगता है खराब है? फॉर एग्जाम्पल फॉर यूपीएससी पीपल,
Across the board.
यूपीएससी के लिए भी आप देखो ना, तो दे आर बेसिकली ट्राइंग टू गेट पीपल हु आर गुड एट एकेडमिक्स. बेसिकली दे आर लिटरली ट्राइंग
They are good at reproducing what is written.
So that is
Are they good at problem solving?
Yeah, exactly.
So that is what you get people, you get what you pay for. The people who are good at problem solving have gone off to America or wherever.
So don't you think this problem should be solved first before
That is what I'm saying.
the pay
Invest in human
package?
beings. Now, how do you invest in human beings? It starts at the education level, Aftab. भाई तुम्हारे हिंदू सेंट स्टीफन जैसे टट्टी कॉलेज होंगे तो कौन कुछ निकालेगा?
अब हिंदू सेंट स्टीफन्स भी खराब है.
Of course they are.
Why is it so? Why do you feel that?
Listen, the smart people who come out of there don't come out of there because of the pedagogy out there.
Okay.
क्या वो हिंदू कॉलेज की टीचर या सेंट स्टीफन्स कॉलेज की टीचर अंग्रेजी कोई नया किस्म से समझाती है क्या?
No.
But it's all so you are English lit, ना?
Yeah.
शेक्सपियर पढ़ा था.
Yeah.
हाँ. All the world is a stage, and men are just but actors on it.
Yeah.
Give me some new take on it.
Like proper catharsis kind of.
हाँ बताओ.
सोचना पड़ेगा अभी एकदम से आप पूछ रहे हो.
This is the thing. You're a literature student. I'm not a literature student. You should be able to come up with it quickly.
What's your take on this?
My take is Shakespeare is shit.
Lights. What?
So what I'm trying to
My thing is Ayn Rand, that you consider something profound when you don't understand it.
So what my point was,
No. Let us finish this thought experiment first. Give me a new take on all the world's a stage and people are but actors on it.
so but I do understand now what is your take, then I'll see that what
I told you what my take is. Shakespeare is shit.
अरे but इस particular moment पे शेक्सपियर चलो shit है, but the particular thing that you're giving me, the situation, what do you feel about it? All world is a stage. What do you feel about that?
This is Hindu karma. Ki your role is predetermined and you are just playing out something in the divine scheme of things.
Okay, I don't feel that.
Okay.
I feel that you have seen that movie Tamasha by any chance? So it's like an Imtiaz Ali movie. He's also from Hindu, by the way.
I don't know, but anyway, batao, हाँ.
So kind of, if someone is saying, what is that full wording? All world is what?
देखो ये English literature का
अरे
student
आप
है, he
बोलो
doesn't
ना.
even know. All the world is a stage and human beings are but and men are but actors.
Are men are actors.
Something like that.
So like I'll see it, for example. See, let's say I'm coming from a background which is not very poor not very rich in the between. So like I will have to, for example, do a job. So if I'll see things happening around me, let's say in corporate or everything, so my observation would be what is happening around. The kind of clocks people are running in. कोई सुट्टा ब्रेक के लिए जा रहा है, कोई यहाँ जा रहा है, कोई वहाँ जा रहा है, उसके आसपास चीज़ें घूम रही है. All kinds of actors are playing there. All kinds of people are saying same things.
So basically coming back to Hindu mysticism.
No, why?
Yeah. Because you're basically taking a seat back and observing the whole world go around you. Na? That is what is called attachment.
But my world is a very small perspective that I'm giving here. It might change after 5 years,
It
right?
will change. But
Yeah.
कौन सा बड़ा तूने कद्दू पे तीर मारा है?
So मैं तो
So for Hindu, for all this, oh, we are so academically challenging this thing. Our teachers are so good. भाई मेरा पाद तेरे टीचर से बेहतर है. I have given a more profound explanation. I'm not even an English literature का student. तो कौन सा सेंट स्टीफन्स में इतना इकोनॉमिक्स सिखा दिया तेरे को? See, St. Stephen's, in that sense, all these big name colleges, in that sense, they are basically high society schmoozing parties. They are like your discos in 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
वो Hyatt में घुंघरू होता था ना, हाँ उसकी तरह है. Do you have the money to get in? It is social validation. You're not getting.
Why you need money for these colleges?
For example, in St. Stephen's physics, E remains mc square. In government physics college also E equals mc square, right?
Yeah.
तो कौन सा बड़ा नया pedagogy उधर किया है?
See, I am not saying about anything about education. It is shit. I might have missed majority of my classes.
Understand.
But
Understand, Aftab.
Yeah.
What you have learnt at Hindu college is no different from English literature taught at Corporation College.
No.
Yeah.
English, you are speaking about the whole experience or only specifically English?
Now, listen. The syllabus and the teaching are the same.
Yeah, they are.
Okay. The difference is you have come from a lot of money and social capital that has allowed you to get into Hindu college. पता नहीं तूने capitation fees देना पड़ा पर
No,
कैसा?
it was 50K for 3 years.
Whatever. So then you had the social capital to get in.
Social capital, what do you...
You came from a good family. You could speak English as opposed to
अरे पर मुझे
corporation.
पढ़ना तो पड़ेगा ही. For example,
But
if I...
that boy didn't have it, na?
Who?
So basically, they have taken somebody who already knew enough, given him the exact same coaching, but they've charged you more, and you have the sheen कि मैं हिंदू कॉलेज से हूँ और कॉर्पोरेशन कॉलेज से नहीं हूँ. वो भी उसी ने पढ़ा है. The quality of teaching here has not been better. But you are considered superior. मैंने तो कभी इंग्लिश लिटरेचर पढ़ा ही नहीं है, फिर भी I could give a better explanation than you could of Shakespeare.
I give my
It was a very good explanation.
You liked it?
तो काय का इंग्लिश है? नहीं, I didn't like it.
तो फिर very good कैसे?
So I said, no, mine is better than yours.
See, you are coming from a thing which is about Hindu mysticism, right? You are comparing it with... You are like comparing two literal... Religion might not be the correct way, but kind of ethos. आप वहाँ पे यार एक वेस्ट के ethos को हिंदू के ethos से जोड़ रहे हो. मैं यहाँ पे situation को जोड़ रहा हूँ उसके साथ.
Now let me tell you the difference in the American context. Basically, you don't want to admit the fact that your Hindu college is only as good as a corporation college. That's
I'll tell you about that. मुझे आप बताओ, if I was from MIT, if I was from MIT, will I get the same kind
What
of...
is MET?
MIT is here. It's like a college in Noida.
Oh, Amity. हाँ.
So if I was from MIT and let's say I approached you or I approached all the big thieves that I have featured right now, right? So will they take me with that much serious conscious? Because Hindu already has a alumni network. Hindu already has some things attached to it.
I would have still come on your podcast. Many people would not have. But why? Is that because you ask better questions?
That is to you. You tell me.
I don't
can't
know.
judge myself.
I go by the individual. I research what they've asked previously and I go by that.
Right.
I don't go by if they're from Harvard or Stanford or...
See, that is your personal one, that you don't believe in
Correct.
idealistic
But I
ideology.
understand a lot of people do. So it is not that you can actually ask a better question than Amity College ka student or Galgotia student. Are you from Galgotia?
No.
See, देखो कितना अहंकार है, मैं हिंदू कॉलेज से हूँ. You don't. The differential is next to zero out here.
Sure.
On the other hand, in America, let me tell you what the differential is. You go to community college, which is the rough equivalent of a corporation college. उधर किसी चीज के लिए पैसा नहीं होता है, नेटवर्किंग का अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं होता है.
Yeah.
You are stuck with people who can't afford anything. much, whatever, which is kind of like your corporation college. But the big thing is there is no money here for doing research. On the other hand, MIT, Harvard, Stanford, they monopolize so much of the research funds, especially in STEM or even the humanities. You will get scholarships if you're in humanities studying in Afghanistan. You will get scholarships 3 years in a row for funds to go there and study in Afghanistan, do ground study out there. You will not get that in community college in America. If you are in STEM, there will be some high top secret defense project that has been given to Harvard. You will get access to the labs. You will be working on one small component of it and learning practically. There is a huge difference out there. Even your best college out here like IIT is the rough equivalent of a community college in America. You are not investing in human beings. Your colleges don't invest in human beings. There is not a single college out here. There was, in fact, a very acerbic article about St. Stephen's from an American exchange student. I think it come from Notre Dame. I think it was in Scroll or something like that, which said this is a shit college.
St. Stephen's is actually shit.
तेरा कॉलेज उससे कोई बेहतर नहीं है.
ये तो
नहीं.
St. Stephen's literally have shitty rules. They literally behave like school.
Please.
असेंबली होगी सुबह, अटेंडेंस का ऐसे ध्यान रखना है.
Give me a break.
हर चीज के लिए छुट्टी के लिए मांगो स्कूल की तरह.
You're just as bad. You're just as bad. I hope certain Hindu college alumni like Hardeep Singh Puri and Subramaniam Swamy aren't watching. नहीं तो फिर मेरे को अब वो चप्पल लेके मारेंगे मेरे को. But anyway, तो क्या होगा है कि it is what it is. We do not invest in human beings in India as a rule. Let me give you a very simple example. अगर तुमने एक ऑटो ड्राइवर को रोल्स रॉयस दिया, what do you think the auto driver will do?
He's gonna flash it to the whole community that he has. First things first.
He'll probably crash it before that because he's not used to that kind of speed.
Yeah.
He's not used to the size of the new car, so it'll get scrapes and grazes all over the goddamn place. He won't be able to afford the maintenance because a Rolls Royce is a BMW product, which is a highly fallible product. एक बूंद पानी गिरा, it stops. The maintenance alone for a month will bankrupt him, leave alone the fuel expense. On the other hand, supposing auto guy is very enterprising, starts up a auto pooling business, becomes very big, he becomes the next
Rapido kind of thing.
Whatever, and becomes a millionaire and buys a Rolls Royce. Much more sustainable.
Yeah, it is.
Why? Because you invested in the human being.
Yeah.
Here what we do is बहुत सुंदर building बनाते हैं and the bathroom starts stinking within a week. Why? Because the people who clean the bathrooms, it doesn't matter how flashy your building is, the people who clean the bathrooms are still having to do hand cleaning of the bathroom with way toilet brush and things. You don't want to pay them more so that they actually do a better job. You don't want to give them 11,000 rupee Karcher high temperature, high pressure cleaners. So it's gonna stink. Why is it that a 5-star toilet always smells different from a public toilet?
Pay scale.
There you go. All Sarkari toilets smell like public toilets anyway.
Yeah, they do.
Even in South Block, do you know, it smells like a public toilet, yeah? So the cabinet secretary, even the defense minister, has to use a stinky, smelly bathroom in South Block.
Oh, I now recall. We went to Niti Aayog also.
Stinky bathroom? There you go.
Outright.
Why is it that Taj or Oberoi or Marriott or whatever, when you go in, you're like, क्या lemongrass का fragrance आ रहा है, कभी भी टट्टी की बू नहीं आती है.
Listen.
पर नीति आयोग में या नॉर्थ ब्लॉक या साउथ ब्लॉक में जब भी प्रधानमंत्री भी जाएंगे उनको टट्टी की ही बू आएगी.
How's this in the West?
West, one of the things is, so you go to these pit stops and क्या कहते हैं वो fuel stops and things to eat. They're not very clean, but they're much cleaner than what, more or less. They're much cleaner than what you get here because कुछ तो cleaning, but not good. On average, I would say there are very few unusable toilets I've been to. Like, let's put it this way: in the West, I would more often than not hold it in. But say every 1 hour there will be a toilet which is usable. In India, on a road trip, I would never even dream
to do that.
I would rather go out into a field and do it.
But don't you think that changed with this project, जैसे Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, right? So thereafter, I think after every 5 kilometer, you are having stops.
And
That is a good step, right?
it is a good step. But have you seen how those bathrooms are maintained?
They are still better. आप imagine करो ना, when there used to be just dhabas on the roads.
Still, you have to pick and choose.
Yeah.
The ones where there are lots of shops,
Which is crowded.
they are better.
Yeah.
We've actually, on the Delhi-Jaipur highway, I've actually plotted which ones have either restaurant maybe. There are ones which have their own individual things. I prefer going there than to the general facility. The ones that don't have it, there's only one petrol pump or something. Don't use the bathrooms there.
Yeah. Those are also.
It's a good start. I want to see how it's maintained.
Yeah.
Because see, the cleaning equipment is still the same.
First.
It's a restaurant that invests in cleaning its own poop pot, no?
Yeah, it is.
So you understand, this is the thing. America invests in human beings. Israel invests in human beings. India invests in tamasha. I don't say नया बिल्डिंग बनाओ. I say लोगों का तनख्वाह बढ़ाओ, उनका एक्सपेक्टेशन साफ करो, उनका अकाउंटेबिलिटी ज्यादा करो.
But.
और उसके बाद वो ही आके बोलेंगे कि भाई ये बिल्डिंग घटिया है, इसमें हमको जो सफाई कर्मचारी है इसको भी ज़्यादा पे देना पड़ेगा. और हम बोलेंगे भाई तेरे को पहले 5,000 मिल रहा था, अब तेरे को 30,000 मिल रहा है, बट वी एक्सपेक्ट सर्टेन थिंग्स एंड वी विल बाय यू कार्चर विच विल डू 120 degrees Celsius steam, extremely high pressure, so nothing will stink, everything will be sterilized.
But do you think before that we would have to kill the Babu culture here, right? You come from Australia, right? You have multiple.
That is what I've been saying right from the beginning. You have to kill the what is the Babu culture? The Babu culture isn't that the fellow has too much power or the fellow or felly, whatever. It is the fact that they have zero expertise on anything, including management. They have a very high opinion of themselves. They have zero deliverables. They can keep failing and they are never held to account, and they're just given bigger and bigger projects. It doesn't matter if those projects fail or not. And it's not that they make new mistakes, it's that they keep making the same mistakes or they obstruct. Every Babu in the finance ministry has to be given a target of getting in this much investment. If not, you lose your pension and you get out. Okay. Why do they not have to show results? The Babu culture is one of a lack of accountability. I don't mind if you're arrogant. So, for example, I think it was in November when I was coming back from Canada. ये दो उल्लू के पट्टे मिले थे मेरे को custom service से. That dumb woman, she didn't even know which bag she was looking for.
And what were they looking for? Why they stopped you?
They stopped me because I told them I had a back surgery. I said, help me put this up.
Achha.
15 minutes waiting. They considered below their dignity to help you lift your bags and put it on the X-ray.
I expect that
शक्ल से तो that customs fellow and that girl look like bloody chaprasis. वो मेरा कुत्ता भी is more qualified than them. They were waiting for the coolie to come because they will not. It is below their dignity to lift up a bag. They said it is service rules. मैंने बोला service rule दिखाओ. And I threw a fucking tantrum out there. Till the end, all of them will accumulate. Not one of them will help you lift your bag. वो कूली का काम है. How can we help you lift it?
Yeah, pride पे आ जाएगी वो बात this.
साले वो लोग, they are not fit to bloody clean a toilet. But अहंकार उसमें and the dumb creature, she didn't even know. She said, इसमें 4 ये दिख रहे हैं. It looks like a sensory device. She picked the wrong bag.
I can place they listen.
And we are paying for her salary.
Yeah, I get that.
Why?
I think it system.
तुम्हारी औकात चपरासी की तरह है, then act like a चपरासी.
Right.
The coolie was in fact more, so-called coolie was much more helpful in problem solving and human than this creature. इसका IQB was less than that, fellows.
What's the matter?
I think that has happened.
भाई तुम चूतिए हो तो जीरो अचीवमेंट चूतिए हो तुम लोग. तुम्हारा इतना अहंकार नहीं होना चाहिए. जब मैं तुम्हारे ऑफिस में आता हूँ, तुमको मेरा चप्पल उतार के उसको पॉलिश करके उसको चाट के मेरे को धन्यवाद देके तुम्हारे सोफा पे बैठने का सम्मान करना चाहिए. तुम्हारे गंदे से सोफा पे बैठने की ये की.
जो मैंने बताया.
उसमें भी फिर आप देखो ना, दिस इज ऑल्सो अगेन बाबू कल्चर, राइट? फॉर एग्जाम्पल,
Babu culture is what? It is a lack of accountability. It is a refusal to accept any kind of accountability, any kind of merit at all. It is हमने एक एग्जाम पास कर दिया है and that entitles us to privileges for our life, which is basically zero accountability and getting away with everything.
So technically they don't have the power to actually do something.
They have a lot of power.
They thrive actually.
No. They have a lot of
The
power.
custom people. Or you are saying overall?
Overall, it is.
I was speaking
I
about
was
the
just giving you a practical example. कि कैसे 2 कौड़ी के good for nothings अपने पे ले लेते हैं कि they have,
I don't think
they can make your life miserable.
Yeah. This one all the airport staff, right? This is like proper custom officers.
ये 2 कौड़ी के secondary service कोई they weren't even good enough to pass the primary exam. ठीक है, चिल्लड़ के लोग थे 2.
but
पता नहीं कौन से मोफूसिल एरिया से आए थे, because they dressed like मोफूसिल types.
he was sweet.
And they were idiots. They're people who would never be employed in the private sector. That woman and that guy, boss, Swiggy drivers have more competence than these guys. Would you ever give Swiggy drivers power over you?
No.
Like, this is the worst kind of thing. You give small penis and small brain disproportionate power and zero accountability for that power.
Sugars, wait, on tipping. Company being.
Right. You say. I'm going back to US again, and हमने ऐसे we picked up pop culture and this Bollywood वाला thing multiple times, right? So I wanted to diverge into that. So there is a Hindi film industry, basically Bollywood, other industries also, right? But then why the hell Hollywood is literally the end goal for everyone? Everyone wants to be there. Or everyone, you have your Latin, you have your British actors, French actors, everyone kind of going there, Indians also going there, making big there, or being part of a Hollywood project.
Yeah.
Why that dominance? Why so much of dominance?
First, it's that English has become the universal language. Second, it's all the, like I said, every silo is a microcosm of what America is. Which is the best and most talented of everything gravitates towards America. The money is infinitely more there. The markets you access are infinitely greater.
I'm sure. Well, go with. That's
Obviously, when you go from a 500 crore rupee production to a 50,000 crore rupee production, your salary is going to be much higher.
Yeah, it will.
Here you will be acknowledged by 1.4 billion people. There you will be acknowledged by 6 billion people across the world. 6, 7, I don't know what the population growth is. But how many have movie watching? I don't know the exact statistics, but it's just a question of market numbers.
Yeah, it is also visible through
People
their
who
income,
pay
right?
200 rupees here for a film ticket,
just
they'll be paying 1,000 rupees there for a film ticket, no?
It's happening here also, by the way, now.
अब वो तो niche में है ना. Where an average film ticket is what, $20 or something like that, which is what, 1,600 rupees.
Here, that is not the
That is not.
like the rare. That's a rare case. That's a choice here.
Entry level $20 का जो ticket है here, even their platinum what gold class or whatever is what 1,000 rupees.
वो है 1,000-1,500. Then director's cut, if you go, it will keep on increasing.
Right. So that is for a very niche audience here, but that is the entry level there.
Yeah.
Much higher disposable income. 1.4 billion at 2,000. What is our thing right now? $2,300, $2,400 per capita.
Not sure.
Is still not the same as 350 million people at $75,000 per capita. You understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is how it works. It's all economics, bro. You want a culture of excellence, you have to pay for it. On the other hand, what do you want to do? You want to build pretty new buildings. See, it is not technology, and this is, believing that technology is a solution to your problems is a very socialist pathology. It's a socialist communist pathology, and it is a pathology. It's a disease. When things go wrong, you think technology will save you. Technology enables human beings. Technology does not substitute human beings.
So is it the culture that keeps
It is we've had this for, the stupidest statement, and it has poisoned the well ever since, was that clown Jawaharlal Nehru, who said what? Dams are the temples of modern India. Dams are not the temples of modern India. The modern Indian is the temple of modern India. It is the person. Our religion always tells us Aham Brahmasmi.
Yeah.
You worship the individual. You invest in the individual. It doesn't say Mandir Brahmasmi or Shiva Brahmasmi or Vishnu Brahmasmi. It says Aham Brahmasmi.
Yeah.
You invest in the human being. But you've gone full socialist retard. Have you noticed everything technology here is to overcome the fact that you don't want to invest in human beings?
In India?
In India.
Yeah.
Tech is used to compensate for human failing. In the West, tech is used to enable human beings. The USSR fell because it thought there was a technology solution to human failings.
And also one more thing about the monkeys part, that they really take pride in presenting their culture also, right? For example, all the superhero movies, Marvel, DC, The Boys, every kind of thing that has been built, it's always about saving America.
Yeah.
It's always about saving New York.
Have you noticed
When they say save the
aliens
world.
only land in America?
Yeah.
All aliens land in America. Everything big only happens in America.
It does.
But think about realistically, if an alien wanted to invade you and take over Earth, which is the country you think he'd target first?
The easiest to conquer.
Or the strongest to eliminate opposition? It would either land in North Korea, or it maybe not North Korea. It'll probably land in, I don't know, the Vatican City, which is the smallest and no army at all, or San Marino or Andorra la Vella, one of those big European microstates, or it would land in America. Take out the biggest enemy first, and then take out everybody slowly, individually. I would say America, because if you tried it on a small country, the Americans will learn your tactics. Don't let them learn your tactics. Hit them first, nobody else will learn your tactics then.
But still, the representation has been constant, right? Everywhere.
Because it's true.
You have a Superman, you have an Avengers saving New York.
If a friendly alien landed also, they would want to land in America. They will not come study us remotely and say, oh my God, this is the country that gave us the Upanishads. So profound, let me land in India. You go to India and say, there is nothing Upanishadic about this country. Aham Brahmasmi, not in this country, bro. That's in that country there.
Even
America is more Upanishadic than India is.
America is what?
More Upanishadic.
Acha.
than India is. India में हम बस lip service करते हैं, कर्म कार्य में कुछ नहीं है.
वो दिख नहीं रहा है.
Because you don't worship the human being, no? Human beings are shit.
Are treated as shits, basically.
Basically become shit also. Ever since we invented zero in 732 AD, we've decided, we're so taken in by our invention, we've decided to collectively reduce ourselves to zero.
Also the US Army thing, right? Whenever there will be a superhero movie or an action movie like a Mission Impossible or all these James Bond movies, right? There will be sometimes a mention to, we really thanks our hero, US Army.
American
Defense
flights, have you noticed not one? All the airlines will say, even before the business class boarding, we invite service members in uniform to board first.
Oh, they do?
Every airline, without exception. And servicemen will always get upgrades if they're available. Servicemen and women.
So that is also there, right?
I'll tell you something simple.
Right.
You go to any American army base, you will not find dilapidated housing for a single army, navy, air force, coast guard, marine in America. It'll be prefab. It won't be a palace or anything, but it'll be good, solid housing.
Okay.
You just go into army cantonment here in Delhi.
What?
You look at or Subroto Park where the Air Force cantonment is. Most servants' quarters are better than where you're putting up your pilots.
Higher ranking officials are usually having the good places sometimes.
Once you become Air Vice Marshal and all, they compete with ministers in terms 3 acres in this thing. But see, they are not the ones fighting, no?
Yeah.
Again, you're investing in top में जो होता है ना, वहाँ तो life बहुत खुशी है. What about the people actually doing the work, bro?
Yeah. But what do you feel about this involvement of, US military, everything, Mission Impossible and James Bond with the whole US thing? Even recently, अभी भी जो Mission Impossible का movie आया था, तो उसमें they were showing this AI threat that will come up and then how it is automatically getting all the nuclear arsenals. And US was the last one to
But
get
it's
hit.
true.
Right.
But it's true, no?
True.
America is so far ahead in terms of AI and things. See, Google has finally cracked the quantum. I mean,
OpenAI itself.
But OpenAI, I'm not a big fan of. There are huge issues with it anyway. I think the real innovation in AI will come from a different angle. We haven't seen it yet. It will come. See, good AI is not based on crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is highly fallible. Good AI is a highly calibrated, very. I don't think people here have seen military AI. The problem is, movies tend to give you a wrong impression of literally everything. Military AI is scary good. What you see in terms of ChatGPT, Grok, OpenAI is all after you've seen military AI. This AI won't really
Makes sense.
I just look at it and go, this shit.
But that will never be public, right? A military AI. Or you think they will make
If you're in the industry, you get to see some of it. Like,
have you ever seen yourself?
yeah, it's very limited. But even with that very limited exposure, I was gobsmacked. There were things that were happening which I did not believe. And this is with current computing.
This is before ChatGPT boom? When you saw these things?
Way before ChatGPT. Let me give you a simple example. Because of this Air India crash, it's probably worth civil airline landing technology at airports, landing, takeoff, management of the circling ahead before you land, and management of aviation routes and things like that. The technology you're using today, which is all verbal commands and things like that, is 40-50 years behind what is used for control of military airspace and coordination. There are no verbal commands in advanced military aviation anymore. Everybody knows what to do. The planes read each other, learn from each other's behavior, and they distribute targets amongst each other. They know what to do, where to do it, and whatnot. Right. On the other hand, there are things where civil aviation is way ahead of military aviation in terms of engines. So, for example, the engine is constantly running diagnostics even before the plane lands. Sometimes 6-7 hours before the plane lands, a slight fall in metrics, in performance metrics of the engine, has been conveyed to the ground team at the destination. They've already figured out what the problem is. They're waiting with a patch on the ground, or they're waiting with a new engine on the ground to change it within an hour so that plane can take off, because time is money in the commercial aviation business. If you delay, काफी नुकसान होता है, ठीक है? You have to pay compensation if people miss their connecting flights, whatnot, nonsense, blah blah, more drinks and whatever at the lounge, and if you're not at the lounge, then sandwich देना पड़ता है सबको, which is still a cost.
Basically, capital expenditure.
Capital expenditure, right? Well, operational expenditure, but anyway, happens out there. That has now come into the military slowly. So the F-35 and Gripen have that diagnostics being sent back, which there are crews waiting on the ground to fix. So in terms of engine, anything commercially viable, commercial aviation is in fact way ahead of military aviation. And anything in terms of communication, radar, today you can manage the airspace without human intervention.
Really?
Yeah, technically, if military technology was introduced into commercial aviation, do you know the kind of hundreds of billions of dollars you'd save on aircraft routes, on manpower at airports and things like
This is
that?
with the US military or every military?
Well, every modern military,
has this.
more or less, yeah.
Then why are they not sharing it?
Because it's classified technology, it's military technology, it's networking. You don't share it with the commercial arm. There are some things which can be done in your commercial arm which aren't done. So, for example, this Air India report has been such a stupidly third-rate report that was been written. Today, how much do cameras cost?
Depends.
Like a
This camera, for
CCTV
example.
camera, and ये नहीं यार, I'm not talking about high res. CCTV 360-degree camera जो घर पे लगता है,
Must be around 10K.
maximum, right?
Yeah.
Usually आजकल 2-3 हज़ार का मिल जाता है, rupees. We're not talking about dollars.
Yeah.
Okay. A Starlink subscription costs how much?
I have no idea.
Say even $900 a month. Say a high-speed Starlink subscription. You can actually put Starlink on planes now. You know that, right? Gives you extremely high-speed, ground-level, high-speed connection up in the air. You should already have CCTV cameras in the cockpit to record everything. You're still dependent on voice recorders and electronic data recorders. Why are you allowed to turn off the transponder on a aircraft? You should not. A commercial aircraft should never have the option of turning off its transponder. You can today, completely within economic considerations, have 360-degree 24/7 monitoring of aircraft cockpits. But look, there are things where AI has grown so much, and that advantage is entirely American. Now, from the AI I've seen about 7 to 10 years back, it was scary then. I can tell you honestly, what ChatGPT, OpenAI, what I've seen on them is not even a fraction of what I saw I forget now how long back it was. See, 7 to 10 years
In
back.
a military atmosphere.
In a military atmosphere. What was being used out there? What I saw was in Israel, but and in a much more limited sense, the French and the American system.
This is not anything automation, right? This was completely different.
This is totally different. It's AI. AI is AI. It's I would almost say a sentient computer. Even what little I've seen of the French and American systems is gobsmacking. The Americans and French didn't give say as much access as the Israelis. The Israelis, because they might be behind the Americans or the French. We don't know. I think they may not be. But whatever. It was stunning. And this was with the computing power available 10 years back. Now you combine Google's new quantum computer with this. I don't think the world has seen, or the world is seeing the end of US dominance. I think the world is seeing the horizon of a new age of US dominance. Because this is the problem. Like I explained, arithmetic versus geometric. When the country has so many advantages, your technology will start growing geometrically. Catch up becomes next to impossible.
That's for the US.
And Europe will get the benefits of being, flunky to America.
Truly.
The America is so... See, American power is based on ceding significant portions of that power to Europe, Israel, Australia, Japan.
Yeah.
It isn't मेरा ही ये है और कुछ और सब भाड़ में जाओ. Like Britain was like that. I am everything, nobody else gets anything. America's like, we don't have colonies, but we have flunkies. But they treat their flunkies very well. My political interests are, you have to conform to my political interests. But you more or less get to run your things.
In what?
I mean, if you ask me, I would say no. Political sovereignty is very important. But listen, I have a good life, bro. I only fly business class when I travel abroad. I got very good cigars and single malts and wines at home. I go abroad almost every month. These are the metrics of what I've measured in India. I eat very good food. On the other hand, you go ask the average kirana dukan malik, the average street vendor, the average tradesman.
Terrible life.
If you want to live here or you want to live in Germany, which is completely politically subservient to America, what do you think he's going to say?
Germany, right?
Obviously.
They will choose Germany.
Any day.
So we're going to get one more thing regarding this, right? It's about the opinion formation thing. Majorly through, even if you leave Bollywood, the media side, there is this thing also called the CNN effect kind of thing, where they basically introduce the live news streaming thing, and it was like it really forces the policymakers to start the action thing. That's the whole idea behind it. A lot of people agreed also there, right?
Yeah.
So in India or elsewhere, you are now seeing that at a very small scale, but in US it's like they really don't read out just the news. They really shape how you are going to think about it.
Yes.
How do you feel about it, right?
I don't feel good about it at all. Because I think opinion should be classed as entertainment, not as news. News is the dispassionate narration. TV news is the dispassionate narration of events. Paper news is the dispassionate writing of events. The moment you start opinionating or adding value judgment. For example, if a TV program says or a newspaper writes, in a shocking development, classify it as entertainment. Put an entertainment tax on it. True news is extremely boring. With zero judgment, zero value judgment.
But who will need it then? Then it will be a business problem for them.
So therein lies the problem. You want it to sell, so you make it entertaining.
Right.
Make it ideologically entertaining.
But some are good also, right?
But that's not entertainment, and giving both sides of the story is not the same thing. You understand?
Yeah.
You can give both the left perspective and the right perspective. In a boring, bland fashion, say, this left-wing guy said this right-wing guy said this. Okay, that's still news.
But then it would be tough for the particular person who is
The issue is people want their news to be entertaining.
Yeah.
Entertaining involves spin. It involves narratives. News doesn't sell, spin and narrative sell. So we don't have newspapers, we don't have news channels in this country or anywhere in the world really. There used to be one called PBS once upon a time, the news hour with Jim Lehrer, which was, I used to watch it religiously because I was like, damn, this is a program where I'm not getting any of the spin or opinion or whatever. It is just a narration of news. And then at the end, there used to be a segment called Brook and Shields. And Jim Lehrer used to sit with these two opinion columnists, Brook and Shields. One was left, one was right. And they would have a sit and have an extremely informed, in-depth conversation about any given subject. The thing was, nobody used to watch it. Hence, it was run by PBS, Public Broadcasting Service. Okay. Most of the people you call journalists today are not journalists at all. They are anchors. Anchors are not journalists. I'm not a journalist. For me, a journalist is somebody who goes on the ground, works on the ground, and gives you ground reports. Barkha Dutt is a journalist. You notice she doesn't sit on her cushy chair. She goes, you may not like her swing, whatever, but she actually goes on the ground and does things. Do you notice during that entire farm thing, she was on the ground? During Operation Sindoor, she was on the ground. Shivarur was on the ground. They've actually done ground journalism, and they are anchors to boot. Once upon a time, all TV anchors actually did ground journalism.
But then people blame her for this thing, the Kargil war wala situation. And she basically filmed all of the things there. So maybe...
So here's the thing. A lot of people blame her for that. They blame her for the Mumbai attack coverage and things like that. And I've asked her about this. She's like, bhai, we were where we were told to go.
Okay.
At any time they wanted, they could have pulled the coverage. They could have stopped the coverage. There were anyway military censors that were saying, ye mat chalao, wo mat chalao. We were doing what we were allowed to do. That was it. And she's right. If you didn't want it, you could have easily pulled the plug on the camera. Na? If I want to stop this interview, I will literally go there, press the shutter release button and remove the card. What prevented you from doing that?
So you're saying the government then wanted that it to be published in that?
Didn't realize its impact or whatever. See, a journalist's job is to get the story, boss.
Then what about the people framing for situations like you're giving too much operational details or you're giving troop details or all kinds of those?
Then stop telling the journalist that, no? How is she getting those operational details? Because people are talking. See, I believe there is a very dangerous thing which is throwing journalists in for reporting. What you should do is, who leaked that information? You get a leak inquiry, find the person who leaked the information which was operationally sensitive and throw them in jail. The moment you start throwing journalists in jail for reporting, you've crossed a red line which you can't come back from. You throw the person who leaked the information in jail. Who was meant to be in charge of perimeter security? Did they breach perimeter security? No. As I remember it, everybody wanted to be on camera in those days. Huh? It was like...
So do politicians and governments have their own selective journalists, like they want to give information first, you know?
Of course they do. Everybody
So
does.
it becomes a scoop for them.
Yeah, it's not just
So
in
they
India.
become
bro.
an opinion formation.
It's not just in India. How do you think CNN used to get all its scoops during the Biden era?
Yeah,
Or
obviously.
MSNBC? Why does MSNBC get no scoops right now? Why does Fox News get all the scoops? Or the New York Post? Or New York Times, New York Post? Or Newsmax? Because they're aligned with Trump. They get all the scoops. Or most of the scoops. The remnant Democrats still leak to Axios and New York Times.
Here, YouTube can be a good differentiator for that. But then
Yes,
again,
but YouTube, the issue with YouTube is that it needs to be read the Riot Act. If they operate in India, they need to bloody well follow Indian rules. They can't do what they want to do wherever they want to do it. Na? And they follow their own rules.
Well, what are the rules you feel are problematic?
They will mark things which are not, which they deem hateful content, they will take it down. You can't do that. The moment you do that, you should lose your intermediary protection and you should also be prosecuted.
You mean?
What? Thinking.
Fair enough. And there is also this algo trend, right? There will be someone who will be speaking on the same thing.
Yes.
They will get maybe dash amount of views. Someone else will get.
So you
lakh
told
views.
me that the IS's job is to manage. In any big company. ये दो कौड़ी के जो कंपनी होते हैं जो आके इन्वेस्टर का पैसा चुरा के फिर बैंकरप्ट हो जाते हैं उनमें आई नो लॉट्स ऑफ मैनेजर्स हु डोंट नो व्हाट द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डज or what the operational level does. Those are all the fly-by-night fraud operators. Okay. All the good companies, have you ever found a manager who doesn't know what his manufacturing sector and his software development sector are doing? No, na? So, curiously enough, because according to your podcast case, the role of a Babu is to manage. एक IAS Babu की औकात बताओ who can run a diagnostic of YouTube's algorithms. You tell YouTube you have to share your algorithm and we will check it to see there is no unfair whatever.
Whatever spike is happening.
You know what? YouTube will also say yes.
And
Because they know you're all that blithering idiots, you won't be able to read the algorithm or understand it.
so what is this algorithm that we will not be able to understand?
It's just advanced programming, bro.
Right.
Do you have anybody at a management level who understands advanced programming, who can even ask the right questions? See, the role of a manager. Why do you insist a person with subject matter expertise becomes manager? Because they can ask the right questions and find the right solutions. India is the one country where a person with zero subject matter expertise will be made a manager. It's like putting an English literature honors graduate in charge of Boeing aircraft development.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Right.
The comeback to that is Steve Jobs. He dropped out of everything, wasn't good at science or whatever this thing. He was very good at product design.
Yeah.
He was good at understanding markets.
Does he
knew-
follow trends, right?
He knew who to put in the right job. And understand, if he had not delivered within the first 3, 4, 5 years, he had been sacked before, he would have been sacked again.
Right.
The company was taken away from him.
Yeah.
I will accept तुम्हारा skill नहीं है और तुम IAS बन जाओ. But after 4 years, if you don't deliver on your chosen job, why shouldn't you be sacked like Steve Jobs? Why should you be paid? Why should you even be kept on in the service?
Enough. And in parallel to this, how does the bureaucracy in West works, especially in US?
In the US, there are political appointees across all levels who have to show their technical competence outside when they're in corporate jobs and think tank jobs.
You don't have a UPSC kind of entrance.
There is also, it is not a UPSC entrance, there are different interviews and things like that you have to do. There are some standardized tests depending on what the service is, but mostly it is a process of interview, more interview, more interview, more interview. We fine tune. I think the most impressive system I've seen is the French system. You're picked at a very, very early age, immediately out of school almost, and they see if you have the competence to become a bureaucrat, and then they lavish money on you. There was a fellow who was in the same course as me in Australia. Every 6 months he was flown back for 2 weeks and he had to do courses and write an exam at the end of that course. He had chosen which line to go into, and he was trained. He had double the workload. For those 6 months he was at the course, he had to study course matter and he had to study course matter from back home.
Wait, and
And in spite, they will invest in you even if if you may fail at the end. Mostly they've invested in you so much that you will succeed. But even after they've chosen you, you have high failure rate. In Israel, it's very curious. They take all the problem children from school who are rebellious, who are considered problem students and things like that.
Politically problematic?
No, just generally. Rowdy hai, ye hai, wo hai. Because, these are all manifestations of unfulfilled intelligence or unfulfilled abilities of some kind.
Kind of wisdom.
Sometimes, not always, but sometimes it is. They do psychological analysis and they incorporate them into a unit. I think it's called H200 or 8300 or something like that, which is military intelligence. And it does all the sophisticated electronic intelligence tracking, Hezbollah, pager operation track karo, ye, wo karo, things like that. It is those problem children that are put there. People who would be considered problem, autistic, things like that. And by the time they're around 26, 27, they're thrown back in the general workforce and say, get lost and make yourself useful to society.
After giving all the care or all the due diligence.
They have been shown the crown jewels. They have been trained on the crown jewels of Israeli technologies. They have had access to the kind of information that most prime ministers can't dream of. And the vast majority of them go on to become tech entrepreneurs. They are the single biggest cohort of new tech startups in Silicon Valley. They are told you have a shelf life of 5 to 7 years. They're inducted when they're 19, 20, 21, 22, something like that. And 5 to 7 years, they're thrown out. It doesn't matter how well you do because they want new thoughts to keep coming in there.
Yes.
And they are insane. Some of them fail. That's fine. But the vast majority of them, because they have, boss, imagine you are giving. Here, a 20-year-old is very happy to be given a PlayStation. I don't know what is the current
PS5.
5 hai aaj. PS5 and do things. This guy isn't given a PS5, bro. He's given a goddamn actual, and not a PS5 to run, aviation simulator. He is given a Gulfstream with the latest bloody radar saying, okay, fly it over the Syrian border and keep picking up on signals out there and see what are the signals coming. See if you can develop counter signals to those signals. Can you imagine how exciting that is for a kid?
Yeah.
You've provided mental stimulation. All your anger, aggression, because you felt the teachers didn't understand your unique genius, you're saying, okay, genius, show us.
Real terrorism, actually.
Actual. That is human investment. But see, it's easier for Israel to do because they're a small country. They're 9 million. The population of South Delhi is 9 million. सच में GK, South East ये सब combine कर दो, right? तो वसंत विहार, थोड़ा सा गुड़गांव add कर दो, it will become 9 million. The better parts of Gurgaon, add it, it will become 9 million. ठीक है. Singapore can do it. It's what, 4-5 million people? Sure, there's a problem with scale, but there are scalable solutions. Okay. Instead of an IIT, why don't you have a Indian Weird Kid College, IWKC?
उसको आसपास के लोग ही इतना ट्रोल कर देंगे that everyone will be discouraged to join.
You think these people don't get trolled?
But I can't speak.
No, listen. Do you think these people don't get trolled? Do you think autistic kids don't get trolled in Israel? It's brutal.
Must be.
They're taken away from that. They're put into a supportive environment. 545 parliamentary constituencies. You think the government doesn't have the money for 545 weird kid institutes where every year 20 kids are selected from the general population?
And all kinds.
And you find weird
obsessive
teachers.
disorders.
Yeah, and you find weird teachers who are willing to do this. Maybe there are some specializations which will be niche. You don't have to have 545. Maybe have about 100. And each one has different specializations, so send the kids to the other one. You think we can't do that? Our problem is we never focus on one thing. We 100 smart cities. Right? Because you don't have money for 100 smart cities. Start with one smart city, see what works, what doesn't. Then expand the program to two. See, it is not smart tech and smart buildings that make smart cities. It is smart people who make smart cities. It doesn't matter what kind of tech you put.
Right.
If there isn't 3 months jail for you spitting pan ka lal thuk on the white building, थूक वो सेंसर कैमरा पे पड़ेगा और वो कैमरा काम नहीं करेगा. So what's the point? You know, there's this guy, Pratik Singh, who puts car crash videos on YouTube and Instagram. Do you know him?
No, might have seen on
You
reels.
go on it. Sure, everything will be road rage. इसको इधर से overtake नहीं करना चाहिए तो उधर से. 99% of the times the problem is that the truck is driving in the fast lane. Is idling in the fast lane, not even going fast on the fast lane. Are you ever going to throw the truck in jail for going on the fast lane? Why your cops are so third rate, they can't even though you have road rules, they can't even read the road rules and see who's technically at fault. As a rule, when you get caught, it is always the car's fault, it is never the scooter's fault. If auto rickshaws fault. If an auto rickshaw and a scooter hit, it is always auto rickshaws fault.
The smaller guy is the.
It doesn't matter किसने rule तोड़ा है. What do you do?
Like on, like the
What do you do?
Human investment.
Human investment. You are, and understand, human investment also means holding human beings to account, hence accountability. There is no investment. You don't invest in a company and saying मेरा पैसा भाड़ में जाए. मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया है, मेरे को रिजल्ट्स दिखाओ. प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस निकालो, बैलेंस शीट निकालो हर साल का. मेरा डिविडेंड कितना मिलने वाला है मेरे को, इन्वेस्टर डिविडेंड. Do you understand? Human investment is making people's lives, quality of life better. I shouldn't have to walk around. I should have to come back every night and think मैं गाड़ी को कहाँ park करूँगा. You know, in Delhi parking is such a huge problem.
Shitty.
Yeah. Why?
Because people like civil sense.
No. You have bought your house. You haven't bought the area outside the house. You can't grab public land for parking. You put metered parking everywhere.
People put stones outside their houses that
Yes.
this is you are.
It is illegal. You know that. You call the police, they won't do anything. हफ्ता वसूली के टाइम आ जाएंगे.
आपस में सुलझा लो. वही the best.
बस.
and sensitive.
Your gated societies are better in that sense, right? They already provide you like 4 or 5 parking spaces.
Yeah.
Builders like that.
Yeah. Now, all these things have solutions. You don't want to solve it. B, you keep focusing on tech isn't going to buy एक.
Just think it.
This is like बंदर को कंप्यूटर देना.
Yo, it's true that.
You mean Indians in tech?
Indians are bandars generally. You give them computer. It's a rough equivalent. No? बंदर को कंप्यूटर देना.
It's
You give a MacBook Air M4 Pro, 256 GB RAM, 25 terabytes. I don't know what the current highest storage is for a MacBook Pro. बंदर को दोगे, बंदर उसके साथ क्या करेगा? थोड़ा खेलेगा, फिर ऊपर से फेंकेगा, and see how well it smashes.
I think
On the other hand, you put in genetic research and you genetically engineer a good bandar. Maybe the bandar will be like, what is that, Planet of the Apes की तरह बन जाएगा.
हो सकता है.
हो सकता है. Even education. Why do parents commit suicide because their kids don't get into schools and colleges, bro? Why are kids committing suicides because they fail? Because there is such a dearth of good education for a country that is so obsessed with education. Why is there such an artificially scarce supply of education? It's a corrupt, distorted market. The biggest Corruption in this country happens in two things: construction, education. There isn't a single politician who won't own some kind of an educational institution. Because education is not about teaching you in this country. Education is about some MP or MLA making money.
Actually, do you know there is this very different college concept that has been introduced in Gurgaon called Masters Union. So technically, the founder of that is the son of the LPU guy. LPU, Lovely Professional University. It's in Jalandhar. So it's like a very good known, अच्छा वाला private college. तो उसके बेटे ने ही वही वाला खोल दिया. It's like sold in a very different way कि best campus placement and all of these things, right? But at the end,
If somebody, I won't touch a university that says best campus placement.
really, that's a red flag for you.
That's a red flag for me.
So,
I definitely.
The most innovative teaching,
who's that American?
we will ensure you problem solve by the end of it. These are the keywords for me.
Going through it.
If it is oriented towards best campus placement, I already know this is old wine in a new bottle. Like I said, Aftab, you don't seem to be able to get this for some reason.
Yeah,
Maybe it's because of Hindu college.
but exactly
St. Stephen's ki tarah, in the Hindu version of the Christian St. Stephen's. Best campus and best campus placement. It is not shiny buildings that make a university. It is the professors that make a university.
100%.
It is the access to research that makes the university. I don't give a damn how shiny your campus is. At the same time, it shouldn't really be like the JNU campus where the hostels smell like public toilets. That's a different matter.
After my God.
If they are talking about if they are placing about the best, if they're talking about the best placement and not telling you how their education methods are different or why their professors are good, it is not a university I want to touch.
That's like every university in India.
Yeah,
Every college in
वही
India.
तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ. Where is the product differentiator?
पैसा कि आपको ज़्यादा पैसा यहाँ मिलेगा. ऑफ कैंपस में जाओगे तो कुछ नहीं मिलेगा. नॉर्थ कैंपस में जाओगे तो पैसा ज़्यादा
पैसा
मिलेगा.
मिलेगा.
And almost like putting conclusion to this, Abhijit, the thought we started with the Rang De Basanti video, right?
Shitty movie, shittiest movie, and anybody who likes Rang De Basanti, you're also shitty.
What is your list of movies that you would recommend to people to watch them?
So I love Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yes. Then you must like Sandeep Vanga also then, right?
Who?
Sandeep Reddy Vanga, the director of Animal.
I didn't like Animal that much.
Animal भी नहीं अच्छी लगी आपको?
It was very wannabe.
Yeah. Like,
But didn't you see the comparison of, some bits of Kill Bill, some bits of Godfather in it?
Like I said, it's wannabe.
Wannabe of the Hollywood version of things.
It's an also ran. Quentin Tarantino, have you noticed, every movie he makes a totally original idea.
Yeah.
You'll get gratuitous violence. So sure, I got gratuitous violence from this. But what is the new story? It seemed a mishmash of lots of different things that I've already seen before. And very gaudy sets, by the way.
For Animal.
Yeah.
I
You can tell the sets. You can tell there's artificial lighting.
Not really.
Yeah, you can. Very clearly. It's tacky.
But that's the differentiator for them, right?
It's tacky. Everybody likes Bahubali. Bahubali is tacky as hell. Okay. I love Quentin Tarantino movies. I love...
bet. What?
I don't watch too many romance comedy type, but there was Love Actually that came out once upon a time, which was a very good movie, I thought. There's lots of lovely Iranian movies. The divorce or the separation, I forget which one.
Get
How? I've never seen an Iranian movie that I did not like.
But
Superhero movies, any
I love all the most of these spy espionage things series. Homeland. There's this French one which is actually the best, Le Bureau. There's Califat, which is I think a Swedish series. Yeah, I love a lot of these things. I haven't seen a really good movie in a fairly long time. One of the movies which I saw, whose name I've totally forgotten, I've been trying to find it and I didn't find it, was a really badly made movie. English movie. Very badly made, complete overacting, but what a storyline. It's about everybody going to this वो seance करते हैं ना, they communicate with the dead spirits and things.
Is this like a psychological horror?
Kind of. You go in on a table where the ghosts are summoned and then each person asks the spirit what they want.
You shake hand with the hand there. There is an artificial hand there. You shake hands with that.
No, not that. And they all die, and it turns. I'm not gonna ruin. But I don't even know what the movie's name was. I'm like, damn, that low budget. It showed. The acting was bad. It showed. But the storyline was like shit. I did not see that coming. That was good. So I like a lot of thrillers.
You don't like superhero movies?
But
They've become repetitive. I prefer things with anti-heroes these days, like The Boys or University V or what, Gen V? What was it called? The spin-off of The Boys? The university where everybody's on that V drink or whatever, and they're being trained to become superheroes.
Yeah.
Superhero Academy. I think it's all Gen V or something like that. Yeah. Because superhero movies have kind of become like Hindi movies. Boy meets girl, boy and girl either get married or boy and girl commit suicide. Superhero movies are like that. Superhero hai, super villain hai, superhero saves Earth.
Come
And you're like,
But that's what you expect out of a superhero, right? What more can you see there?
the boys completely broke the mold, right? Like it's
That is a satire also, right? That is like showing Superman in an alter ego.
correct, but that is fun because it's never been done before. There's only so much. There are so many interpretations of Batman that you can watch. There are only so many interpretations of Superman that you can watch. Superman 1, 2, 3, 4. It didn't matter who the actor was. It was ultimately good guy versus bad guy. Good guy always wins at the end.
Latest Superman movie that James Gunn
I'm not
directed.
going to watch it. It's boring. Even Transformer became boring. They all become boring after a while.
Deadpool.
Again becomes boring.
You resonate with Deadpool sometimes.
Huh?
You resonate with Deadpool sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah. But it gets boring after a while. See, for me, art,
But then Deadpool is
repetition is not art. It may be very flattering for the artist where, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But for me, it has to be something new every single time.
Then that's why I said Deadpool, right? Because it literally breaks every character. It's a hero, it's a villain, it's an anti-hero sometimes.
Which was great, but initially it was great. It's overstayed the welcome. I guess I'll get bored with The Boys also soon.
Have you seen the season 4 abhi?
Aage?
Huh? आगे हुआ है.
The Boys?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't. I must have been waiting because I want to binge watch it now. So I wait for it.
You are at which season?
3.
3. That is interesting. Season 4 पे थोड़ा सा बुरा लगता है, but in the ending it's like,
Oh.
it's really good.
So is it the end of the Boys franchise?
Not technically.
Okay.
No.
So what happens is there was this series which came out called Britannia.
Okay.
You probably won't find it on Netflix or Amazon. You'll have to download it from torrent.
Nope.
It's set during the Roman conquest of Britain.
Sure.
It's all about dark magic, tribal politics, Romans bribing the Celts, Celts bribing the Romans.
I think
Oh my God. When I saw it, I was blown away. The accuracy of the costumes, the theological ethos of the Roman Empire versus the theological ethos of the British Celts and things like that. It was stunning.
So,
And the plot twists were insane.
Into the
The second season, they destroyed it.
like he was.
And I couldn't watch the second season. So, I like,
how it should be.
for me, creativity is coming up with something new, not telling the same old story.
Don't.
Come up with something new.
Yeah.
See, that's why this animal didn't do it for me. It's cut and paste of what I've already seen.
Today. What's up?
Even the violence wasn't as
Hey, how?
Immediately.
aesthetic.
no.
It wasn't aesthetic.
If you put any action movie that has been Bollywood in the recent times, in comparison to that, Animal was really different. If you're comparing,
See, if you're coming from
if you're comparing this
listen,
with Bollywood, that's different.
by the if you're comparing Sarkari entry level quarters to a Juggi Jhopdi to Dharavi, sure.
So,
But if you're comparing, Sarkari quarters to the presidential suite at the Rambagh Palace, give me a break. Okay. Like, for example, in Kill Bill 1, the last scene where she takes on those 100 psychos.
Yeah.
It's so you're laughing. People's heads are getting cut off and you're laughing because
And
it's
small little details like blood popping out like fountains and everything.
yeah. It is highly aesthetic violence.
But in India, that is a problem also.
And let me
right?
give you I'd urge all your viewers to go to Lisbon. First of all, Lisbon's a lovely city. But there's a museum called Kalust Gulbenkian. Museo Kalust Gulbenkian. He was an Armenian art collector. And it's stunning. I truly, I understood the difference between China and Japan in this museum in Lisbon. Even though I'd lived in China for almost a year. I had visited Japan like 30, 40 times by then. I had visited China at least 7-8 times by then during my almost 1 year stay there, plus before and after as well. And that one visit to Museo Kalust Gulbenkian told me the difference between Japan and China. You know what they've done? There is enamel work from China and Japan because Japanese art used to copy a lot of its idea from China. Even the characters, the kanji and the kanji characters, they're copied from China. They've got their own hiragana and katakana, but the kanji, which is the old Chinese symbols, are copied from China essentially. Niche in the display cases are enamel boxes or enamel ware. And on the walls are tapestry. And they're all from the same period. Initially, it starts with the 1300s, then the 1400s, then the 1500s. It goes from the Yuan dynasty to the Ming dynasty to the Qing dynasty. So essentially going from the 1200s to then the 1400s when the Ming dynasty, 1300s where the Ming dynasty happens, and then the 1600s when the Qing dynasty happens. And across it, there is one theme running. You'll see the same patterns: cranes, lotus flowers, jasmine flowers, storks, dragons, lots of dragons. Same kind of buildings, those slope-roof buildings. But the Chinese use a lot of color and a lot of gold, and it's ugly. The Japanese, the entire tapestry will be made of shades of silver. The workmanship is so exquisite out there. With that one thread, he has literally created different colors based on the texture of the sewing. That, because it has access to so much, has to use all kinds of vulgar shit which looks ugly. And it's a persistent theme over 700 years that you see.
What you want.
That's the difference.
Film.
Yeah, it's it.
Quentin Tarantino is that side.
Maybe we can leave the viewers with this thought then. Let them explore Lisbon and
And honestly, if your Rang De Basanti lovers are there, they're this side, bro. Jackie, Darani Meher.
But thank you so much for this, Abhijit. It was pleasure speaking. I hope you had a great time.
I hope you had a great time too, and I hope you get lots of abuses in the comments, because unless
That's engagement.
it's not engagement. Love is a very fickle emotion. Hate is a much more honest emotion.
Professional also. Honest also. Committed also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So please,
I wish you all the hate.
I please shower your hate on Aftab Puttoo.
Peace out.